Michael, this is the first time in hours I haven't heard water hitting these buildings behind me, and we're really getting our first look at just how extensive this damage is. It was a treacherous walk up the stairs to the second level of the Carrier Dome here as the snow continues to fall. I'll give you the tour of the best tailgate on University Hill right now. Look at this spread of food. You can see just how strong the wind has been over the past 24 hours, pushing stacks of ice up along the entire shoreline here, as high as 6 feet in some areas. If this isn't good luck, I don't know what it is. You got to feel on the top of your head. This is a very close family. I've spoken with a number of them throughout the day, both in the neighborhood and here at the hospital. Smoke could be seen for miles, but dozens of neighbors on the city's north side had a front row seat. They watched through the choking smoke. 2, 3, 4 blocks away from here, and I could smell it coming down my street.
Burns your eyes. It's hard to breathe.
The smell just, it's not good.
Those too close to danger were kept away from their homes.
Our food is spoiling. The smoke is coming in our house. You can't breathe. You can't open no windows.
Really heartbroken because it doesn't just affect the building, it affects every apartment around here, and a lot of these people have nowhere else to go and they're completely smoked out of their apartments. It's devastating.
For hours, firefighters worked to contain the flames, using every technique at their disposal.
It's so just overwhelming down here. It's just so bad that I've never seen this like this. It just keep going and going and going. It seems like they're never going to get it under control.
The buildings have stood along Salina Street, one of the city's main thoroughfares, for decades. People couldn't help but look on and watch as they burned.
You know, I got burned when I was a child, and it just brings me back to that day when I got burned. It's just, I wouldn't wish any of this on anyone.
Fire crews will be here throughout the night, putting out the remaining hot spots on these buildings. Right now, the roads are secure. There is no driving, no walking along the 700 block of North Salina Street, even the 600 block of North Salina Street, and a portion of Division Street in Syracuse until further notice. The city says they're going to evaluate these buildings tomorrow to decide whether or not they need to come down, and if they do, that will undoubtedly change the landscape of this North Side neighborhood. A year after Seth Collier was hit and killed walking home from work, his mother stands at the intersection where he died with an update on their family's fight for change.
He was my baby. You know, he was my kid. You know, you're taught always to protect your kids. Well, I can't protect him anymore, but I can sure try to protect somebody else's kid.
Newly released surveillance video shows the driver, Peter Rausch, enjoying the 17 drinks he had before hitting Collier. It also shows him pulling into the Pastime Athletic Club parking lot minutes after the crash. His behavior telling to Special Prosecutor Greg Oakes and Seth's mother.
Never once has he walked to the front of the vehicle. Never once has he checked for damage. What that's told me from day one is he knew how bad it was.
He didn't even check the damage on his car. He paced back and forth for a few minutes and then he fled.
A drunk driver killing an 18-year-old is bad enough, but it's what Rausch and his friends didn't do that Oakes says sticks with him.
There's a DA investigator there. There's a fireman there, and there was a stripper. And the only person who had the decency enough to stop was the stripper.
Seth's law is a step in the right direction, harsher punishments for those who leave a fatal scene. But Oakes says it doesn't go far enough to punish those who drive drunk.
Somebody drives away from a fatal accident. Under the proposed legislation, they could get 5 to 15 years. But if they stay at the scene, they're going to get 2 1/3 to 7 years at max. It's perverse.
It may be just a step, but it's a big one for those fighting for it.
Something in his honor, you know, something that we worked so darn hard for. And again, because this place needs change.
Dustin Mondix may still be in the hospital, but on senior night at Moravia High School, number 40 was everywhere.
Number 40, Dustin Mondix.
Dustin was Skyped into the gym where his family and teammates exchanged hugs and flowers.
It was just absolutely amazing. It made me cry.
Dustin's mom, Edie Inman, knows it's a moment her son won't soon forget.
Oh my gosh. He was psyched, as he would say, psyched.
Even cracking jokes on his teammates from his hospital bed.
Even though you guys thought you got rid of me, I'm still here.
Head coach Todd Mulvaney says if his team needed any extra motivation, they got it.
the hair on the back of my neck still standing up. It was really cool to see him, you know, especially in the gym.
Faced with a test no team should have to face, he says his guys came together.
It hasn't been easy, but we fought through the ups and downs, and we just kept believing and knowing he was going to be back. And tonight it was a perfect exclamation point for senior night.
Before tip-off, the Blue Devils went over to Dustin, one of their captains, for one last-minute pep talk. Based on our talk with Dustin last week, it could have gone something like this.
They were winning, I'm keep winning over here.
It worked. Dustin's energy helped propel Moravia to a 63-41 win. And according to Dustin's mom, he's keeping up his end of the deal as well.
Honestly, for everything that he's been through, and he's coming home in 40-some days, it's unbelievable. He's a miracle. He is just a miracle.
Dustin is scheduled to come home later next week. Reporting in Moravia, I'm Justin Page.